Hi, this is Pastor Dave, and I hope your Good Friday is going well. The crucifixion of Jesus started at 9 a.m. When that happened so many thousands of years ago. And I hope that in some ways you are thinking about Good Friday, but something significant happened about 12 o'clock, and so that's why I'm sending this video to you now. It says in the readings from Matthew, Mark, and Luke that the sun was blocked out and the earth turned dark in those 3 hours as Jesus died. So I'm going to have us an encouragement for you that in some ways you observe this time of Jesus' crucifixion by turning some things off. Maybe your electronics, maybe your mind for a while. Go out for a walk. Maybe read a gospel account from Matthew, Mark, Luke, or even John, and just think about it for a while. Find some way to be quiet, or read a book, just to give yourself a sense of solace. Think about what's going on in the world, but not in the usual kinds of ways in which it just is news that hits us across the face and is all full of contention, but find some ways to reflect on what's going on in our world in light of Jesus' crucifixion and how maybe his willingness to take on our sufferings is something that promises life for us just as it did for him as he trusted in God. To help us to get ready for Good Friday, oftentimes the church cloths, the purple of Lent, is stripped from the sanctuary and put aside. And I'm going to do that right now. Taking away the purple that's been on our cross from when we started at Lent. In anticipation of a new kind of cloth to be put up on Easter that would be the color of white to show the victory that comes with Jesus. And then I'm going to read to you the account of Jesus' crucifixion from the Gospel of Mark. Listen, as I read it, at the end of it, things will turn dark. And that's for your opportunity to observe Jesus' giving of his life and the darkness that came from that, but one that anticipated the light. So listen to the reading as it comes to us from Mark's Gospel, starting in the 15th chapter, where we hear, starting at verse 21, that they, that is the soldiers, compelled a passerby who was coming in from the country to carry his cross. It was Simon of Cyrene, the father of Alexander and Rufus. And then they brought Jesus to the place called Golgotha, which means the place of a skull. And they offered him wine mixed with myrrh, but he did not take it. And they crucified him and divided his clothes among them, casting lots to decide what each should take. It was 9 o'clock in the morning when they crucified him. The inscription of the charge against him read, "The King of the Jews." And with him they crucified 2 bandits, one on his right and one on his left. Those who passed by derided him, shaking their heads and saying, "Aha! You who would destroy the temple and build it in 3 days, save yourself and come down from the cross." In the same way, the chief priests, along with the scribes, were also mocking him among themselves and saying, "He saved others. He cannot save himself. Let the Messiah, the King of Israel, come down from the cross now, so that we may see and believe." Those who were crucified with him also taunted him. And when it was noon, darkness came over the whole land until 3 in the afternoon. At 3 o'clock, Jesus cried out with a loud voice, "Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani," which means, my God, why have you forsaken me?" When some of the bystanders heard it, they said, "Listen, he is calling for Elijah." And someone ran, filled a sponge with sour wine, put it on a stick, and gave it to him to drink, saying, "Wait, let us see whether Elijah will come and take him down." Then Jesus gave a loud cry and breathed his last. And the curtain from the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. Now, when the centurion who stood facing him saw that in this way he breathed his last, he said, "Truly, this man was God's Son."